Good morning, everyone. Well, afternoon, actually. We're just going to do a short video. I know the polls open tomorrow, and I think they open tomorrow for Missouri. But I just wanted to do a short video just to inform of both sides. I'm not on either side. I don't like either one of them. So I'm not biased toward Hillary or Trump. So, perfect person just to give you the general information, what they support, what they don't. I'm not here to make fun of any of them. I'm not here to do that. But I wanted to give everybody the opportunity just to see it, see what they support, because all the debates get confusing. They're arguing, they're bickering back and forth. We don't really know. And they're not helping matters any. So I'm just going to do a short video, let you see what I have found through reliable resources. I'm not making this stuff up. I have no reason to. And just to let you know what they support, what they don't, and then you can decide from there. First, we're going to start with Hillary, not for any particular reason. She's just a first note card I have. Hillary, as everybody knows, does support late-term abortions. It doesn't matter what she says in debates, turning it around, doesn't matter. She does support late-term abortions. Personally, and this is not a political thing for me, I do not. But that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what I think. It only matters what you think and where you would want to support that. Now, Trump does not believe that. He doesn't believe in late-term abortions. Hillary also does not believe in the death penalty. Now, a lot of law enforcement, a lot of politicians do believe the death penalty works. Going into law enforcement, I have studied this, and the death penalty does work in deterring crime. It's a very sensitive subject, but this is the most reliable form of justice that we have. It brings closure to all of these victims' families that have lost their child, their mother, their father, whoever, in the most horrendous way possible. We don't just hand out the death penalty for no reason. These go for serial murderers. These go for child killers. We don't hand out the death penalty for a drug addict. It's there for a reason. Now, Trump supports the death penalty. Hillary also supports the strengthening of our relationships with the Native Americans and to uphold those treaty obligations that we set so many years ago. She believes that if we do this, we will have better relationships, we will have better opportunities, we can learn from them. In my opinion, it's better to have them on our side than not. Now, I don't know where Trump stands on it, but we will get to him on that matter very, very shortly. Hillary also does not believe in private prisons. Private prisons are basically not funded by state and federal government. They are privately owned. That's not going to do us any good, having people running prisons that are not trained, or they're overseas and they are under the United States. It should not be something that we need to worry about in the law enforcement community, and even in the political aspects. We will have to deal with other countries with our prisons being over there overseas. We don't need to deal with it. That's not something as citizens we need to deal with. Trump does support private prisons, and he stated, I do think we can do a lot of privatizations in private prisons. It seems to work a lot better. That's all he stated. I don't know how it works a lot better. I'll honestly say that I don't know how. But from my perspective, going into law enforcement, it's not something that will work. It can't work. The only thing we can do is improve on what we have now, which we have a lot to improve upon. Hillary wants to invest in law enforcement. she wants to further the education of our law enforcement personnel for biased in law enforcement. And this is not racist, this is biased. And I'll give you an example. You see a skateboarder walking down the street holding a skateboard. Now, a law enforcement personnel comes along, and a previous incident that a skateboarder had drugs on him. A biased would be all skateboarders have drugs on them. That's not true. That's what she wants to improve upon. Training them to know that not all skateboarders, in the example, is not a drug addict. She also wants to improve upon our use of force techniques that we use in law enforcement, which basically go from a voice command such as stop to, of course, deathly violence, which leads a citizen deceased. I believe that yes, we should approve upon this, because there is a handwritten book, but there is not enough guidelines. This is leaving it up to the officer, and I know this personally. It's leaving it up to the officer to decide what steps, what order, and when we can use deadly force. It should not be left up to the officer. And I know certain circumstances come up, and you have to skip steps A through Z and go on to another step. But this will give us a direct guideline of what we can follow and what is appropriate. Hillary, of course, also wants to continue the war on drugs, which I have no comment on. Which I don't need to have a that's up to you to decide. Again, you can decide, you want to continue war on drugs. Our taxes do go to the war on drugs. I don't know where Trump stands at this point, and I will get there. I will tell you in a few minutes. Hillary is also for clean energy, which means she really wants to cut out the use of all the oil that we use and go toward a more environmentally safe method, which can be good and bad. Now, Trump. One of the questions that has been posed in some debates to some degree, and some in others, which stated, should law enforcement be allowed to use racial profiling? And he stated, and I'm quoting verbatim, well, I think there can be profiling. I mean, if they thought there was something wrong with a group and they saw what was happening and they didn't want to call the police because they didn't want to be profiling, I think that's really bad. People are dead. A lot of people are dead right now. Now everybody wants to be politically correct. That's part of the problem that we have in this country. We're having a problem with radicals. Now, he's referring to the radicals as Muslim groups. Like I said, I'm not on either side, but I do know that Trump has shown in some of his political debates that he can be a little on the racist side. Now, I don't know if he's really racist. I don't know him personally. He may not be. But the way he words things makes it sound like he doesn't like certain people for certain things. And yes, I understand not liking a particular group of people because, such as 9/11 with the Muslims. But not all Muslims are extremists. That's when we get back into bias. He is biased toward a certain stance because of 9/11. That has nothing to do with the kid in 6th grade who just happens to be a Muslim. Trump has a stance on the war on drugs, which I said we'd get to. And he stated, which I'm just going to read what he said. Well, I did, and I don't think about it. I said it's something that should be studied and maybe should continue to be studied, but it's not something I'd be willing to do right now. I think it's something that I've always said maybe it has to be looked at because we do such a poor job in policing. We don't want to build walls, we don't want to do anything, and if you're not going to want to do the policing, you're going to have to start thinking about other alternatives. Now, he's basically saying police are not doing their jobs with the war on drugs. Still, I don't know where he stands. It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to you. It doesn't make sense to me, which is why I'm not even bothering with it. And the biggest thing for our country right now is, should taxes be increased? Should taxes be decreased? That's the biggest thing. Now, on the information I have on Hillary, I personally don't know. I don't watch the debates. I don't waste my time because they all lie. It's not going to matter. But Trump stated when he was asked, should taxes be increased? Now I'm just reading, just telling you guys what's going on. Let me just set it straight. I put in the biggest tax decrease of anyone running for office so far, and that really is a proposal because we have to go to Congress. I said I may have to increase it on the wealthy. I'm not going to allow it to be increased on the middle class. Now, a lot of the middle class, that's great, applauding. I am so for that. Everybody in the middle class, because if we decrease the tax on the middle class, we can eventually raise the lower class up to the middle class. And then we can all be on some sort of even ground. Sorry, but my nose itches. And I'm sorry, but I am reading some of this stuff because I didn't want to misinterpret it. So I'm just reading it straight from the government website. There was a question, I didn't know this question was even on here, but this is a good question because I have several teachers that are on my Facebook. Should K through 12 teachers get tenure? I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm going to read exactly what he said. On education, it is time to have school choice, merit pay for teachers, and to end the tenure policies that hurt good teachers and reward bad teachers. We are going to put students and parents first. Now, for all you parents out there, I'm not a parent, but I have nieces and nephews. This would be a good policy. I don't think we should get rid of tenure altogether, because there are good teachers that do get tenure. But I do believe we do need to focus on our students and our parents, because our students, one of our students could be the next president, one of our students could be the next researcher or scientist or the cure for cancer. We need to nurture these students and to show parents how they can help at home. And I think that is just about it. Well, that's about it for all I want to talk about. Personally, I can't wait for the debates to be over tomorrow, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of information to go in. And if you want the website that I'm getting the information from so that you can check me, I'll give it to you in the post. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine. It doesn't matter to me either way. But some people do not know some of the things that I said. Some people don't watch the debates like me. I get all my information on government website that is not biased either way. It just gives straight facts. And I do hope you go out and vote if that's your choice. If you don't, that's fine too. Doesn't matter to me. I hope you guys find this video educational and take something away from it. And just everybody have a good day.